Hey, hi friends, we made a mention about Ask MBA if you remember. If you had watched the previous video, you would probably recollect that a good MBA is the one जहाँ पे चुटकी बज रही है, which means what? Means that a good MBA will train your attitude, skills and knowledge. And historically, you must be aware, people talk about case studies as a tool of training in a good MBA program. Of late, there has been debate. People have been saying these are obsolete methodologies. The student community has said a case, it's such a big, thick set of notes. We don't have that time. The current generation obviously has certain concerns. I understand. But let me tell you, it's an age-old tested practice of training students on attitude, skills and knowledge through a case study mechanism. The size of the case may change. When I was doing my MBA, virtually every case that was given to us was minimum 40 to 60 pages. And there have been cases that we read which are 150 pages. And you won't believe, I just want to start with this small memory of mine when I read for my MBA. Students who have heard about my MBA story probably may recollect, it might be a bit of duplication for them. So shallow. My MBA program was a mandatorily residential program. Means we had to stay on the hostel. And there were early days. So we were broken into 8 groups for 8 subjects. Every group, they used to give us some cases. The group has to work on the case, discuss, deliberate, and make a presentation. In my B school, in the very first one, I remember, and I don't want to name the teacher for obvious reasons. He had told us one thing. He said, please never assume anything on planet Earth. You're the finance faculty. Your finance is mysterious. It's full of mystery. Markets are next to nature. Nature is beautiful. Markets are beautiful. Nature is brutal. Markets are brutal. And if you want to cope up with the financial market, which are brutal, you need to learn one thing, which is never assume anything on planet Earth. Those were the words in the very first lecture that he gave us. And we moved on. And one day, when we were all at the hostel on a Friday evening, and typically Saturdays are half days, half number of lectures. Because Friday you party a bit, Saturday you party a lot. That's a typical kind of a good MBA program, especially mandatorily residential. So students have a habit of skipping the Saturday classes if they are partied hard on a Friday. And you know what this guy did? We were all in the hostel, and I was a teetotaler at that point of time. Now I'm a very different guy altogether. But my roomie, my hostelites, I think many of them had gone out to party. Young cult, and the lounge was probably a few kilometers away because in Manipal they never allowed a lounge with served liquor within the educational institutions corridor or the boundary. And at 10 o'clock in the night, a case wrapped in an envelope with names of students reached our hostel at 10 o'clock in the night. And it reached the rector's place. And rector is a rector. He had his family. He was dining. Maybe he had gone out with his family. He probably came late. And middle of the night, almost 12:30, 1 o'clock in the night, you won't believe that envelope was slid under our doors in the hostel room. The names of the group members and the clear instruction, case presentation tomorrow at 8:50 a.m. And this is night 1 o'clock. It was such a thick case, like a book, almost 65-70 pages. Now what do? You try to read through the names of your group mates. Half of them are not there because they are partying. The other half have got lost. They are sleeping. So you try to wake them up. Hey, भाई अपना केस है, लगी, कुछ तो कर, 22 मार्क है, लग जाएगी. And the whole night you try to struggle and you struggle to get the group together to discuss the case, and next day morning you make an attempt to make a presentation. The results are obviously obvious. None of the group could probably do well, and we got a real hammering at the hands of the faculty. Now, am I trying to tell you a story? Yeah, I'm trying to tell you a story, but I'm trying to send a message. This mechanism, the pedagogy of a case study, is a time-tested one. No matter, some management guru may probably insist that it's an outdated methodology or a pedagogy. The current generation doesn't have the patience to read through the lines of a case. When I say read through the lines of a case, it means you need to understand the essence of the case. So what is this case study mechanism all about? So I'm going to probably throw light on this. And this is assuming you study in a good B school like a SPJ or a Jamnalal Bajaj or a Sumaya or a Narsi Punji or an Academy or an ASBS or a Terna or a IIBS or any of those abroad B schools. A case typically is nothing else but a piece of information which comprises a lot of data. It probably would talk about the history of an organization, the history which tries to capture when it was conceptualized, when the organization was set up, the journey of the organization, and what is the current status of the organization. And when I say read through the lines, it means that the case would throw open the data, the info, the pages will throw open a problem that the management is facing or any of the stakeholder is facing or a challenge or an opportunity. And you as a group has to deliberate on the facts, the figures, the data, assess the problem, define the challenge and define the opportunity and come out with a solution. Do you know what is happening over here? How the skill building happens? The mere process of defining a problem is extremely crucial. You know why? Because many businesses fail because they fail to understand their business. Many businesses don't succeed because they fail to define the challenge, define the problem, or define the opportunity. And that's where the beauty of the case study approach comes into picture. It trains you to define things. Because when you know what is the problem, will you potentially deliberate, do brainstorming, apply fixed thinking at structured thinking, and arrive at a solution. A possibility of solutions. And then you may choose, but define it in the right way. So let me give an example. How does this case study work? Now, some of the things that I may say, and it's a disclaimer, is from an education perspective and an education purpose. So some facts, some figures, some data, some info might be a bit distorted, and it is not aimed to potentially have a derogatory mention about any organization. It's purely from an academic perspective. Now I'm saying this because I don't want tomorrow somebody saying this case was probably mentioned on Nilsar MBA, and the facts are, no, it's not distorted facts, it's facts which are conveniently used or restructured to help you understand what this is all about. So let's take a case of Reliance Industries. I think it's the number one company out of Indian origin at least, and we all know the Ambanis. Dhirubhai Ambani. And there was a movie that was made, Guru, typically patterned on the life of Dhirubhai Ambani. Again, with a statutory disclaimer that it has nothing to do with the Ambanis. It's the same logic. The disclaimer from my end is very similar. Dhirubhai Ambani, I think a visionary who gave it to this world, especially our part of the continent, our country, the concept of capitalism, the concept of owning a business through shares, the concept of share market reaching households in India, the middle class households in the 70s and the 80s, I think was given by Dhirubhai Ambani. A trader at heart, a trader at soul, a trader with the brain. And he eventually had a lot of fancy for this textiles, fabric. And with that, the polyester filament yarn project, the PFY project, the plastic project came into existence, Reliance Industries Limited. And there have been stories where he went door to door in his community trying to tell them and explain, what is in store if you invest in that project. And it's all features as a part of the case. This starts about talking about Dhirubhai Ambani's life, the early days, his passion, and he going to households and he trying to solicit people and say, come on, be an investor in my project, invest $1,000, you probably do well. The project has got something meritorious, and so on and so forth. And the journey goes on of Dhirubhai Ambani, and his children are born. And we all know them, Mukesh Ambani and Anil Ambani. And they start to take their lessons, going to the office, loitering away their time in the canteens when their baba or dad was having certain meetings. Like you and me at age 20, what do? And the establishment of the plant in Patalganga and District Raigad, and so on and so forth. And the kids getting married, one to Nita Ambani, the other to Tina Ambani. And there is some friction within the family, but it's a joint family. All that, right up to the stay, the place, everything is there. The journey is potentially penned down on a piece of paper in the form of a case, a thick 60-page case. And you keep on reading it, trying to wonder, where is the problem? Where is the opportunity? Where is the challenge? And all 6 of you in the group, maybe all interview in the group. Somebody is yawning, somebody is probably looking at his mobile, somebody is chatting, somebody is winking. Somebody says, I will read it back at home. Somebody says, let me have a date with my girlfriend or a boyfriend and then come back to this case. All this is normal. And eventually you decide to discuss on the case together. The group meets. And somewhere on page 27, there is a mention that the Reliance Industries workers are likely to go on strike. And now that is where you start to spot a problem. The problem can be defined. And you keep on getting into the facts further, and the notes, and the data, and the info. And there is a friction between Tina Ambani and Nita Ambani. Not explicitly mentioned, somebody tries to read through it. Somebody talks about the aspiration of Mukesh Ambani, somebody talks about the aspirations of Anil Ambani. And his fancy, especially Anil Ambani's fancy towards Bollywood, eventually marrying a Bollywood film star or a celebrity, Tina Ambani. And there are a lot of annexures in the form of financial papers, notes to account, balance sheet, profit and loss statement, so on and so forth. There are a lot of photographs of the plan that was established and the journey of the plan and how it stands today. And the group comprises your group who is working on this case study, comprising of people from diverse backgrounds. Somebody is an engineer, somebody is a commerce grad, somebody is a BMS, somebody is a chartered accountant. And they start to find their own ways of defining the problem. And they all conclude, yes, Reliance Industries has a problem. The Reliance Industries workers are likely to go on strike. The engineer says, hey, you know what? Look at the photographs of the plant and machinery. In way back in 70s and early 80s, it looks so classy and posh. So the photographs are old, the machinery looks new. Look at 2020, 21. The photographs are new, the machinery seems to be old. Maybe 2010, 2015, 28, whatever. Before the brothers split. Before the brothers separated. And the engineer says, you know what? There is a lot of depreciation in the plant and machinery of Reliance Industries. Rust हो चुका है. Machinery खराब हो गया है. It's a hazard for the worker. Worker wants the machinery to be changed, and that's why they are going on strike. Now suddenly the commerce guy is trying to justify his head, saying, "अरे यार photograph में मुझे तो कुछ दिखा नहीं. ये साले engineer को दिख गया." Then there is somebody with a commerce background, the typical BCom, and he reads through it. Under penal code section 38A मैंने law में पढ़ा है. Reliance Industries ऐसा करता था, अभी थोड़ा ऐसा कर रहा है. There is a violation of the legal front by the management of Reliance Industries. The workers have come to know about it. That's why they are going on strike. अब engineers को शोभाएंगे इस तरह से. साला ये मुझे कुछ समझा नहीं. ये तो पढ़ के फायदा नहीं था और ये तो अलग एंगल लेके आ रहा है. There is this chartered accountant or somebody who's a BMS finance or somebody like you. He says, "Hey, financial statement देगा क्या? Profit and loss statement. उसमें mention है bonus paid to the management." You know what? Consistently, Reliance Industries has paid 3 times more bonus than they paid to the workers. Workers have come to know about it. That's why they are going on strike. Jamala, see, market side of the thing. अब कारण क्या है? इंजीनियर बोलता है पेपर तो समझता नहीं है, बैलेंस शीट, प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस स्टेटमेंट. बीकॉम वाला बोलता है अरे मुझे थोड़ा समझता है, लेकिन ये बीएमएस फाइनेंस वाले ने सारा बता दिया. Then there is this guy who is like a paramedics guy or a B-Farm guy, medico. He comes out, you know what? As per the PSN Act stipulated by Medical Council of India, there has to be a health center in every corner after every 3 kilometers in the facility. That health center doesn't seem to be there. Workers have realized this. That's why they are going on strike. Now this engineer, this commerce grad, this BMS grad, पागल हो गए. PSN क्या है? PSN क्या है? ये PSN Act क्या है? Suddenly, they don't know what's sitting there. And then there is this sweet little literature or a English literature or a BA history guy. Now he studied Mahabharata. He wants to contribute in the case. He wants to contribute in the group because how can I stay behind? Because there are marks for the points that you made. The teacher may ask, किसका contribution है? Yeah, this art guy. Hey, you know what? I think we can use an analogy over here. The Reliance management का state Abhinay is like the Abhimanyu Chakravyuh in Mahabharata. They only created all the maze. Now the workers have realized something is wrong. ये अभिमन्यु के चक्रव्यूह की तरह पोजीशन है मैनेजमेंट की. चक्रव्यूह तोड़ना सीखा लेकिन उसमें से बाहर आना नहीं सीखा. मैनेजमेंट फंस गया. रिलायंस को बचाने के लिए ये करना पड़ेगा. My God, now where does Mahabharata come into picture? Now what's happening? Same case, same problem. Different minds think differently. Different groups, different subjects, you think more differently. And when you're doing it on a regular basis, sustained basis, day in, day out, what will happen? You will start developing an ability to think holistically from all directions. And that ability is a hallmark of strong decision making, the hallmark of a good leader in making, the CEO in making. And that is precisely, I keep on saying and reiterating, case study mechanism is here to stay. The size of the case may potentially be shortened. Today we may call it as a caselet, a 4-page or a 6-page or an 8-pager, but it is here to stay. And this case study mechanism When you make contributions in a group for one subject, other subject, third subject, fourth subject, different groups, different ways of thinking, different perspectives on the same problem, you develop a state of mind which is ready and adaptable, and that builds the attitude. That builds the attitude. When you keep on making those presentations day in and day out, and when questions are asked, you're kind enough to answer and say, I'm afraid I'm not able to answer this. I give it to you. You learn and develop a habit of accepting rejection. Development of an attitude. The presentation elements builds the skills. And obviously when you read and read, the knowledge gets built. So yes, case study definitely is a mechanism and a pedagogical approach which is here to stay in good MBA programs which believe in chutki. The snap. अगर चुटकी बजनी है, knowledge और skills and attitude develop होना है. Middle finger कंपनी के बारे में है, अंगूठा आपके attitude और skills के बारे में है. Ladies and gentlemen, this pedagogy to be understood little better. I'll take one more quick case study, and I think you will find it a little interesting. And this is meant for people who want to do an MBA, are doing their MBA, and even who have done their MBA. Again, the disclaimer holds true. Some facts, figures, information might be picked, might be conveniently restructured in the interest of educating the audience who's sitting in front of me. Right on? Now, this is a beautiful case of Hindustan Unilever, and it's a company that we love to hate the most or love to talk about. It's like America, when we say it's a country we love to hate. Love to hate. It's a beautiful wording. Same is the case with levers because it's a multinational company, origin outside India, and they dominate. Your day start with a Pepsodent or a Glosa, and you get into a washroom and it's going to be a Lux or a Lyric or a Clinic or a Dow. And you know that this company is dominating the FMCG world. When I say FMCG, the fast-growing consumer world, you tend to buy the products again and again. But you know what? I read about this unique case of a dandruff shampoo. And this is a beautiful case of dandruff shampoo, and you will be surprised to see the outcome of the case study. This is all about Hindustan Unilever, Procter & Gamble, and Dabur. Hindustan Unilever. It wants to do business in this part of the world because we all know we are the largest democratic country with a humongous population. And we have a concept of a kirana store, small shopkeepers, right up to the nook and corners of every village. Which means you can sell products in every part of our country. And that's the beauty of being in the FMCG industry. So you know what? Hindustan Unilever did research, market research, marketing research. Market research is all about the demographics. मतलब कितना population है, कितने लोग रहते हैं, कितना income है. Marketing is all about लोग क्या सोचते हैं, क्या करना चाहते हैं. And they spent a few $1 million. Few million, and I'm talking a few years back, a few decades back. Just to spend money is on doing research. A few $1 million tells you the size and the vision of a company like Levers. A few decades back, and they did all this research, and they came out with research findings, and they read out this research findings like this, again in the form of booklet, notes, information, data, and so on and so forth. They said, India is a coastal country, surrounded by water on 3 sides, has got a lot of water bodies, a lot of lakes. The Indian topography of the soil is quite loose. You try to just bang the floor, the dust comes in air. The Indian road infrastructure is not well developed. The vehicle density is much higher. the temperatures keeps on fluctuating. Some part of the country is very cold, some part it is hot. It keeps on moving through the day. And there is a lot of pollution because pollutants are, exhaled in the air. And as a result of this, more than 99% of Indians are vulnerable to have a chemical attack on their scalp. And when you try to make hair, small yellow, white colored flakes tend to surface. And the world calls them as, dandruff. And spending so much of money and just concluding that Indians by far are vulnerable because of humidity, because of climatic fluctuation, because of topography, because of pollution, to have dandruff on their scalp. And then started the product research. They wanted to come out with a product that can cleanse the Indians of their dandruff. So what will they come up with? Yeah, you're right. Shampoo. A shampoo. Why doesn't Hindustan Unilever come out with a comb? Just imagine a comb that Hindustan Unilever comes out with. It's got some button. You try to make hair. There is some energy that gets generated which attracts and pulls out the dandruff, and the dandruff particle gets stuck to the edges of the comb. Why not? And there is science available. But since a comb is not a perishable product, Lever says, no, we don't want to be in that business. We want to create a shampoo. So the decision of creating a shampoo, because it is to be bought again and again. And then they do research. The shampoo is nothing else but a composition of two chemicals in water, in a mixer. And the precipitate is the fatty content which cleans you off. It's just like soap. But just imagine, a bucket full of shampoo can be made in 10 rupees. With mixing two chemicals in 10 liters of water. 50 rupees. But would you use it? Of course not. Of course not. So, Levers have made an attempt to test this so-called composition on rats. You know what? They have a rat breeding farm. It's like a poultry farm. Kale chuhe, safed chuhe, dark wale chuhe, bal wale chuhe, that kind of a thing. And they apply the application, the product that they have developed on the small bodies of those so-called rats. And there is no side effect on rats. If there is no side effect on rats, there is absolutely no side effect on humans. And so is the birth of a product done. The shampoo composition is now tested, research-based. But like every other product, the namakaran has to happen. The naming ceremony, in MBA they call it as branding. The brand name has to be given. Anyone who can probably tell me what is the name of Hindustan Unilever's anti-dandruff shampoo? No, not Velvet. No, not Sunsilk. Yeah, Clinic Plus. Right, bang on. You know why it's called as Clinic Plus? Okay. I don't want to ask this as a question. I want you to think on what I say. You know what? When they did research, they realized that Indians by far is a bunch of community which respects doctors. So much so that the most dominant class in India is the middle class. The middle class respects doctors so much that doctor is next to God, demigod, semi-god, whatever you call it. मुझे देवापेक्षा श्रेष्ठ is there, is doctor. Because देवानंतर is at least doctor. All those wording, भगवान के पास doctor है, भगवान के पास. The doctor operates out of a place, that place is called as clinic. Hindustan Unilever says, Unilever says, my product gives you more than what a doctor's clinic can. Clinic Plus. Wow. Now what does an MBA student learn out of this? The naming that you do, the brand that you attach to a product has to signify something. There has to be a merit in calling it something. Not at all. There is tremendous amount of homework, research, brainstorming, structured thinking that goes in the making of defining the name of a product, the brand. Clinic Plus. And they don't stop at it. They want to send a message. Clinic Plus, all clear. You use it, that is gone. Clinic Plus, all clear. But you know what? They want to sell it to millions of Indians. In India, there are only two religions: Bollywood and cricket. Bollywood and cricket. And those were the days when we used to have in cricket the super fab or the super fat four kind of a thing. Sachin and Dravid and Ganguly and Sehwag or Kumble, those kind of people. And Hindustan Unilever said, let me have a cricketer who will represent my brand, who will be my brand ambassador. And they chose, you know who? They chose Rahul Dravid, the number one batsman that India has produced. You're right. Sachin was the number one batsman, but do you really think Sachin could have been taken for a Clinic Plus ad, curly hair, shampoo andar jayega bharana na? Of course. That's why Rahul Dravid. And Rahul Dravid is known for hygiene all throughout. And he used to come on TV and say, Clinic Plus, all clear, as smooth as Rahul Dravid's cover drive. So soothing on the eyes. So soothing on the eyes. And you ask any vivid test match cricket follower, he would inarguably say, Sachin ke baad Dravid. No two ways about it. The rock solid Dravid, and his cover drive was all well known all over the world. As smooth as Rahul Dravid's cover drive. What a positioning, what a communication. Clinic Plus, all clear, as smooth as Rahul Dravid's cover drive. Wow. This whole process of market research, marketing research, product research, branding, marketing communication, brand ambassador is now understood. But they wanted to sell this. They wanted to ensure that this product is made available right from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Bombay to Kolkata, or to Guwahati. And the research that they had done, the millions of dollars that they spent came handy. You know, when you go to the north, the western sides of UP, NCR, Punjab, Haryana, you will have a journal of Punjabi, you would say, oh, Papa, mujhe 200 ml ka Clinic Plus dena. He's not going to buy into small sachets. He needs everything that is big and humongous and it is pricey. Not only that, the way the packaging would be done in a bottle, it would be a little air left. So when you press the bottle, when you're taking a shower, singing a song, you know, I have a lot of bathroom singers out there in the north, all over the country, I'm one. Because the nozzle is big and there is air, because of the pressure technique, more shampoo falls. The consumption is more. You go to the south, the South Indian with his dhoti will travel 10, 12 kilometers in search of value for money. There, it's a 2 rupee sachet that gets created. Clinic Plus, the South Indian will press it. Nothing against any South Indian or North Indian. Please, it's about the psychographics. They want value for money. There is no leakage. He will cut it, use it. That small sachet might be used for 3-4 days. In the western part of the world, where we all reside, Gujarat, the shampoo will be made available in every nook and corner shop. Because in Gujarat, you will have Kanta Ben, Money Ben going shopping in the afternoon. When I come at that kind of a thing, and eventually she will buy. Made available distribution. And in Maharashtra, such a beautiful case, or in Goa, the Western psychographic, you will always find 2 pay free, 25% discount, 3 pay free. You know why? Because the psyche is, अरे आपने ये मैं भी लूंगी तो इतना भी पड़ी है तो. Now understand, North India is different from South India, West India is different from East India, and viewers know all of this. The packaging is different. The shampoo is the same. And the world goes on, they spend a lot of money and they start to rule the market. They rule the world of shampoos, anti-dandruff shampoo. How would its biggest competitor, Procter & Gamble, stay away? They see there is their competitor who have launched Clinic Plus, and Procter & Gamble says, I need to launch an anti-dandruff shampoo too. And then that gives birth to another brand. And we all call it as Head and Shoulders. Head and Shoulders. When you use this, it cleans you of your head as well as shoulders. And you know what Procter & Gamble said? Hindustan Unilever and Clinic Plus has failed to define what does it have. इस शैम्पू में है क्या क्या खासियत है हेड एंड शोल्डर्स की खासियत हम बताएंगे and you know what the communication was ZPTO you head and shoulders ZPTO anyone in this class who knows what's the full form of ZPTO I have a pharmacy guy I have a doctor I have an intelligent IIT an engineer BCom BMS not a single kid. Imagine, qualified guys don't know what is ZPTO. How would the 2 rupees sachet buyer would know what is ZPTO? But they kept on building it. And you know what? Clinic Plus has round Dravid. Head and Shoulders has to have somebody from one of these religions. And whom did they hire? Who is the brand ambassador? Shah Rukh Khan. Oh, those days. दिल वाले दुल्हनिया ले जाएंगे romance in the air King Khan the king of romance and you know what 99% Indians means minimum 49% guys and guys use a shampoo or a hair product when there is that romance that they feel in the mind or is in the air let's have Shah Rukh romance in the air ZPTO you head and shoulders and you know Hindustan Unilever and P&G kept on fighting like cats and dogs big time fights, lot of ad spends. And this thing was understood as a case. As a case, mind you, as an MBA aspirant or an MBA student, Dabur realized there is a 2,000 crore market waiting to be grabbed. Clinic Plus and Head and Shoulders are fighting the cats and dogs with advertising spends. Clinic Plus all clear, as good as round rabbits cover dry. Head and Shoulders, ZPTO, you head and shoulder, cleans you of head and shoulders, Shah Rukh Khan. And then Dabur said, let me come out with an anti-dandruff shampoo. ZPTO क्या है? किसी को पता नहीं है. Clinic Plus में क्या है? उन्होंने बताया नहीं है. ZPTO क्या है? ये Head and Shoulders ने बताया नहीं है. हम कहते हैं Dabur में क्या है? And then the launch happened. Dabur Vatika hair shampoo. Vatika Butika is all Ayurveda. And Indians by far respect Ayurveda. If you use Ayurvedic product, there is definitely no side effect. Dabur Vatika hair shampoo. And they did not stop at this. Ladies and gentlemen, you know how it went? They hired 2 very ordinary models. Maybe 1,000 the price that was paid to Rahul Dravid or to Shah Rukh Khan. Jesus hired very ordinary models. But the statement said, Dabur Vatika hair shampoo contains no ZPTO, contains no harmful chemicals. Wow! What a slap on Procter & Gamble's face. Head and Shoulders said ZPTO. Clinic Plus didn't say anything. But Dabur said, Dabur Vatika hair shampoo contains no harmful chemicals, no ZPTO. Meaning ZPTO is a harmful chemical. Wow! Rest is history. All these 3 brands exist, but I think Dabur Vatika has an edge. Will always have an edge. This is the beauty of a case study which trains you in a quality MBA program. For students who are watching this video on Nilsar MBA, this channel, if you have any doubts after having watched this, feel free to post it on comment with your mobile number. And if you like it, kindly pass it on to your friends and colleagues who want to do an MBA. Eventually, this channel has been created to make CEOs out of young middle class Indians like you. Today was an attempt to give you a perspective as how case studies work. Tomorrow, some other day, till I meet you again, I'll give you some more stories, some more case studies so that learning and getting trained in an MBA is fun. And importantly, it is rewarding.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's always a great pleasure talking and addressing young MBA future CEOs. Take care. Bye bye.